Hello, and in this training video, we are going to go over end-of-day checklist and reports. Starting in our home dashboard, we will select the Reports module listed in the dark blue header. It looks like a bar graph. We're going to start on the far left in Accounting. So if we select Accounting, it will give us a sublist, and we can select Unassigned Items. This will be the very first report you want to run for your end-of-day checklist. Unassigned items looks for items that the doctor coded within the coding workflow step that have not been added to an invoice. You have additional search drop-downs up here for location, providers, and a date range. If you just want to search for all unassigned items, you can click your search button. In the top right, you also have an export option if you wanted to export this list for whatever reason. This is also where you can print it. If for some reason you need to print this report, you want to be careful because there is patient data, but you can export it first and then print it. You have the number of pages you can move through, a number of items per page. In the lower right, you can see the total number of items within this report. You want this report to be as clean as possible, especially when being new with Revolution. You want to make sure that you're cleaning up this report daily at the end of every day. When using this report, the date is a hyperlink directly into the encounter. I see that Ellen Ripley was seen on 12/7, and she still has these charges as unassigned. To clean up this list, you're going to select the date hyperlink to open up the encounter. On the left, we're going to go straight down to checkout and billing, and I'm going to assign these charges out as necessary. I want my OptMap to go directly to the patient, so I'm going to assign that. And I can bulk assign these to whichever insurance I would like. And now they are no longer listed here under unassigned. They have moved to assigned, and when I select my reports again, you will notice they're still here. That is completely normal. I'll have to refresh this report by clicking my search button, and now you'll see that those are gone. So this will be the first report you want to run in your end-of-day checklist. You want to select your hyperlinks to go to those patients, get those charges assigned as necessary. Then you can select your Reports module to navigate back, click Search, and keep working on this. Next, we will need to look for our Optical unassigned charges. The report we just looked at for unassigned items is strictly related to the unassigned exam charges. Now we're going to look for unassigned optical charges. To get to this report, you're going to go to Optical Orders, Custom Reports, and yours will be blank. So what you want to do is in the top right, select your Add button, select Import, check mark Unassigned Items on the far left, and select your blue Import button. This report is different and acts different from the unassigned exam charges. When you see the report listed here, you're going to single-click the report to open it up. If you want to make sure you have a location in the dropdown, you can select all or one individual location. And you have a start and end time. You can run this for one day. I am going to run this for a slightly larger time frame just because I don't have as much data as you will. That'll give me a little bit of data. Once you're ready and you have your date range selected, you're going to select Save in the lower left, and that will bring you back to our custom reports. On the right-hand side, you'll have an export and a print option. I'm going to go ahead and select Print. Unlike the other unassigned report, this does not have any hyperlinks to go directly into the patient. So for any of these, you will have to pull up the order number, which is listed here, or you can select the patient number and patient name in your searches. If I wanted to clean up this one, I would head directly into my orders, search for the order, and change those from assigned to unassigned. You're more than welcome to do the same with the name or the patient ID in order to pull up the patient and get these charges assigned. The next area we're going to look at for end-of-day reports will be we're going to go look for our pending invoices. To do this, you're going to select the Accounting module and Invoices. Depending on how many locations you have, you can click the X to look for all locations, or you can single click the drop-down to look at one specific location. And we are going to then change your approval to pending and click the search button. Searching and changing your pending invoices to authorized is an important step for a few different reasons. Number one, if you are sending claims to your clearinghouse directly from Revolution, it will change any of your medical invoices into claims. Number two, if you have pending patient invoices, this will give you an opportunity to keep those clean so that your accounts receivable is accurate to what is truly happening in the day. Through my pending invoices, I see that I have a Medicare invoice with a balance. I can single click this invoice to open it. I can tell there are no diagnosis codes, so in this case, I would want to clean up this claim as needed. And I'm going to change it to authorized. This will now put this as a claim to submit in my claims area. I can close that and I now see that it is authorized. This top one is a great example. This is a pending invoice with a zero balance. I can single click the invoice. Because it's a zero balance, I can change it from pending to authorized and then change it to paid. This will clean this up so that your list here is nice and clean of everything that has happened financially. So you want to go through these. If they need to be pending because you're missing diagnosis codes, then you can leave them. If you have patient invoices that need to be authorized, you can select them to open them up and just change them to authorized. That way this patient will get a statement when it comes time for you to send statements. That is your pending invoices. Now that we have made sure all of the charges have been assigned and all of the invoices have been authorized, we're going to move right on down to our claims to submit. We can select our accounting module and claims. If you do not use an integrated clearinghouse or you do not use this area for your claims, you can skip this portion of your end of day. If you do use an integrated clearinghouse or you do use this area for claims, you're going to go through this area and submit your claims for the day. Again, you have different search criteria up here, but this defaults to your ready to submit electronic claims. I'm going to view a few more items per page. Here I see a lot of amount due zeros. That is very common. I'm going to simply click amount due to bring my items with amounts to the top. Here I can go through and submit my primary medical claims directly to the clearinghouses. I'm going to single click the items I would like to send. And then in my action dropdown, I'm going to select submit. You will do this for all of your ready to submit primary electronic claims to ensure your claims are getting filed. Now that we have ensured that invoices are created and our claims are sent, we can take a look at some of our financial reports for the end of day. We're going to go back to our reports module, and on the left, we're going to go into accounting and sales. Within your sales report, you have a few different report types you can look at. All sales by type is your main report that will encompass all billed, written off, and discounted items within this time frame. Some doctors prefer to view all sales by provider or all sales by patient. Let's go ahead and just view all sales by patient for this example. I'm going to leave this selected to one location. And for my date range, I am going to choose a larger date range because I don't have as much data as you guys will. In your case, you can just choose today to do your end of day. I'm going to select month to date just because I don't have true data like you will do. And then I'm going to click search. This will give me a list of patients that had billing done on them today. I can single click their name within the report to see additional information. In this case, my Toronto patient purchased some product, they purchased contact lenses and a solution, and they purchased AccuView 2. I can navigate back to my all patients by selecting that. Here, Hungry Gobblesworth got some services, and it looks like he had a number of services. Again, I can navigate back and keep going to look at any patient information as necessary. Some practices like this all sales by patient for their end of day. Others prefer a different option. You're more than welcome to choose the option that works best for your practice, but this will give you all the sales that were billed out for the day. Let's take a quick glance at that to view the difference. I can see that I have billed out 18 products, 30 services, so on and so forth. These 3 items are not true line items, so you may not see them on your report, and that's completely normal. So this will be your report to see your billable items by the end of the day. To see what monies were brought into the practice by the end of the day, you have 2 different options you can choose from. On the left, you can select deposits or deposit slip. Whichever option you choose is a complete personal preference, but selecting one of these 2 reports will give you the monies brought in for that day. I'm going to go ahead and start with the deposit slip. You can select a single location or leave it to all locations, and this can only be run for 1 day at a time. You can leave this set to today and click search. I'm going to change my date only because I didn't bring in any money today, but I did on the 7th. So I'm going to select that and click search. I can see the different methods, the different types, if this was for patient insurance, payer names, reference number, and amounts. Here's the grand total of the money that came in for that day. One of the overlooked features is this gear icon. I personally love the printed view of this. I think it's really clear and it helped me every day with my end of day. I'm going to go ahead and select the gear icon and select print. Here is what this looks like in a printed view. I thought this was very simple because it's easy to tie this amount back to my cash drawer. It's easy to total my checks to get my total checks of the $13.79.82. And I can tie back my credit card slips as necessary to my credit card machine. It does break out my EFT payments, but I usually didn't even count that in my total, so I could just overlook that. And that will give you my other totals to make sure I can tie back financially for that end of day. If you don't prefer this view and you'd like a different report, you can always use the deposits report. Here I'm going to single click deposits. You have a few different report types within your dropdown. For end of day, most offices prefer the deposits by method, one of these 3 options. You can look at each of them and see which one your office prefers. I'm going to go ahead and do deposits by method and card type. Again, you have a location dropdown. Here you do have a date range, so you can run yours for today. Like before, I don't have anything for today, so I do need to run a slightly larger time frame than you do, and I'm going to click search. Just like our other report, this lists out the deposits by method. So you can tie back your checks to your check total. You can add up these 2 credit cards together to get your credit cards. You can ignore your EFTs if you're not matching those, and you have your cash. You can single click within the report to see if it was patient or insurance. You can single click again within whichever option to see more information. In this case, my patients that paid check would be Harry Potter, Hops Pedal, Christopher Hayden, and Yogurt Schwartz. Within each level of the report, you have a print and export option. If I were to hit print here, it would print these 4 options. I can navigate back by selecting all locations, the location name, and then here we're back at that main deposits. Again, you can print this for your end of day to tie back to, or you can export it if you needed to make any changes and then print it. That is your main checklist and reports that you'll need for your end of day. Lastly, I just wanted to cover the aging report. This report is used to tie back your accounts receivable. This is not made to match any drawers or monies posted. It is simply a snapshot of your accounts receivable at any given time. For more information about this report, please see our video on the aging report. This concludes our video on end of day checklist and reports. Please remember to use our knowledge base and contact us for additional assistance.